Welcome to Money Chat, the place to get information on money, personal finance and budgeting.
Living paycheck to paycheck. For a lot of us, living paycheck to paycheck is the norm. We're constantly hustling to make ends meet, and it can be tough to get ahead. But you can break out of the cycle and take control of your finances. Money Chat will explore why people live paycheck to paycheck and offer tips on making ends meet. We'll also share some resources for getting out of debt and building up savings. So if you're struggling to make ends meet, don't despair. There is hope. Learn more about taking control of your finances and breaking out of the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. It means that they spend all, or most, of their income each month and have little to no money left over. Unfortunately, for many people, this is simply a way of life. They may need to realize there are other options available to them. If you're one of the 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, don't despair. There is hope. Learn more about taking control of your finances and breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. We can't ignore the financial consequences that Americans will face in the future. The power to purchase goods and services is decreasing. According to the Federal Reserve Bank, wages need to be released fast for faster inflation. That's why they are still struggling despite the increase in wages. For most workers, the median wage decline when factoring in inflation this year was over 8.5%. It's the most significant pay cut in 25 years, according to researchers. If you're one of them, you know it dramatically impacts your purchasing power. In a recent study, 72% of respondents said they had to pay higher monthly bills this year than the previous year, and many cited the cost of groceries and gas. According to an article, this sentence is about credit card debt. With the rising cost of living, many Americans are turning to credit cards to help them. According to new numbers released by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, credit card balances are rising because people are living paycheck to paycheck. This trend will likely continue as more people follow this spending pattern. These days, everyone has a smartphone. And with that comes the opportunity to invest and make money. We've compiled some of the best apps for financing that you can use to make your first steps in stock trading or real estate. Whether you're a beginner or an expert with years of experience, these apps offer something for everyone. The federal fund rate just went up, which means the interest rates on your credit card balances are going up too. According to the latest data, America's average credit card interest rate has risen to 22.4%. It went up from 22.21% last month. You'll have more savings if you comparison shop. Many consumers barely have any money to cover the bills and can't even afford to save. Then it might seem like you don't have much left over from your paycheck. But the most recent data shows that personal savings rates dropped to 3.5% in August and 9.5% last year. The percentage of income and personal savings left after you pay taxes and spend money. New York Life's Wealth Watch survey shows that 40% of people can't afford basic monthly needs. Of those, 38% dipped into their savings to cover these expenses. Americans often need to prepare for the cost of living and investing. As a result, many are dipping into their retirement funds for living costs and unexpected expenses. 1 in 5 Americans has used their IRA or 401k to cover an emergency expense. Time passes quickly, and Americans use their cash reserves to compensate for inflation. Experts predict a recession in 2023, so we should be cautious. It is essential to save some money in an emergency, like a pay cut, job loss, or even car trouble. Why do people live paycheck to paycheck? There are some reasons why people might live paycheck to paycheck. Some people's income needs higher to cover their basic living costs. Others may have high debt levels and can only make the minimum payments each month. Finally, some people may need better financial habits to effectively save or budget their money. Whatever the reason, living paycheck to paycheck can be a difficult and stressful way to live. It can make it hard to save for future goals, such as retirement or a rainy day fund. It can also make it challenging to handle unexpected expenses. However, find yourself living paycheck to paycheck. It would be best to do these few things to improve your situation. First, Look closely at your budget to see where you can reduce spending. For example, do you need that cable subscription, or could you get by with a cheaper internet plan? Are there any other areas where you could save money? Second, try to boost your income if possible. Could you get a better paying job? Please pick up some freelance work on the side. Any extra money you can bring in will help ease the financial strain. Finally, ensure you are doing everything possible to manage your debt effectively. For example, are you making all of your payments on time? Are you taking advantage of any available repayment plans or consolidation options? Reducing your debt burden will free up more of your monthly income, which can help you break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. How can you get out of the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck? If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, there are a few things you can do. First, find ways to make extra money. It could include picking up a side hustle, selling unwanted items, or doing freelance work. Another option is to cut back on your expenses. It may mean lifestyle changes, such as eating out less often or downsizing your home. Finally, you can increase your income by asking for a raise or finding a higher paying job. By taking these steps, you can break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and start saving for your future. What are some tips for living within your means? There are a few things you can do to live within your means. One option is to create a budget and stick to it. It will help you track and ensure spending wisely in all areas. Another option is to make sure you're only buying what you need. It may mean avoiding impulse purchases and waiting for sales before making big purchases. Finally, you can save money in areas where you can, such as by cooking at home instead of eating out. These tips can teach you to live within your means and save money. What are some tips for saving money? Saving money can be difficult, especially when living paycheck to paycheck. However, some simple tips can help you start saving money. 1. Make a budget. Knowing how much money you have coming in and where it is going is a crucial first step in saving money. Track your monthly spending to see where your money is going and where you can cut back. 2. Automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your account so that you automatically save each month. It will help you make saving money a priority. 3. You should cut back on unnecessary expenses. Take a close look at your spending and see where you can cut back, even a little bit. Every little bit saved will add up over time. 4. Invest in yourself. One of the best ways to save money is to invest in yourself by taking courses or learning new skills that can help you earn more money. It will help you reach your financial goals quicker. 5. Live below your means. It's essential to live within your means and not try to keep up with the Joneses. Instead, focus on what's important to you, and don't let material possessions dictate your happiness. How can you make more money? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, it can feel like you'll never be able to get ahead. But there are some things you can do to start increasing your income. First, look closely at your budget and see where you can cut back on expenses. Even small changes can make a big difference. Next, begin looking for ways to earn more money. If you still need to be employed, start searching for job openings. If you are employed, consider asking for a raise or taking on additional responsibilities at work that come with a pay increase. There are also many opportunities to make money through side hustles and freelance work. Look into ways to use your skills and talents to earn extra cash. Finally, remember that it takes time and effort to increase your income. But suppose you're willing to work hard and be patient. In that case, you can eventually escape the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. What are some other things people can do to make more money? Start a business. Get a higher paying job. Invest in stocks, real estate, or other vehicles. Win the lottery. Much of the American population lives paycheck to paycheck. It means some people spend all their money as soon as they get it and then have to wait until the next salary to cover the expenses. It can be a complex cycle to break out of, but there are some things that you can do to make it easier. 1. Create a budget so you know where your money goes each month. 2. Save up some money so you have a cushion in emergencies. 3. Try to live below your means so that you are not constantly struggling to make ends meet. If you can do these things, you will find it much easier to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Living paycheck to paycheck can be a difficult way to live. You may feel like you're constantly struggling to make ends meet and that you'll never be able to get ahead. So if you're struggling to make ends meet, don't despair. There is hope. Living paycheck to paycheck is a demanding lifestyle, and unfortunately, it's one that many Americans are living each day. However, living from one check to the next can be incredibly stressful with the uncertainty surrounding the economy and job security. The fear of being unable to pay for essential living costs or make ends meet can cause anxiety, depression, and other issues. It's essential to understand how living paycheck to paycheck affects your financial health and what steps you can take to break out of this cycle. Financial experts suggest creating an emergency fund for unexpected expenses, learning how to budget better, and increasing your income, such as taking on side gigs or finding employment opportunities with higher wages. Please hit the subscribe button to get the latest from Money Chat.